What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the superhero segment and another superhero video. So today is the big day in which the Avengers Infinity War trailer number 2 has finally come to fruition. Now there's a lot going on here and a lot to break down, so if you haven't yet seen the trailer, go watch that and come right back to catch everything you may have missed. Alrighty, so first things first, we hear Gamora talking about Thanos, and ever since she could remember, he only had one goal in mind, and that was to wipe out half of the universe. And then she goes on to say that if he gets all the Infinity Stones, he could do it with just the snap of his fingers. Now this is an obvious reference to the infamous finger snap in the comics, in which with just the snap of a finger, Thanos wiped out half the Earth from existence. Billions of people killed with just a single snap. Now Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers had already told us that Thanos is indeed one of the baddest MCU villains, and that he's going to show us really early on in the film just how bad he is. Now the finger snap moment in the comics actually happened fairly early on, which gave readers a clear indication that Thanos is much more than your average run-of-the-mill villain. Now I doubt we'll start the movie off that way, but don't be surprised at the amount of death this guy brings with him. Also important to note here is that Gamora is giving this speech on what looks to be the Milano, so maybe she's bringing the Guardians and Thor up to speed with the situation after Thanos kills most of the members aboard the ship carrying the Sakaar refugees and gets the Tesseract from Loki. Now there's a quick shot that we'll get to later with Thanos crushing Thor's head and seeing the Black Order surrounding Loki for that Tesseract. And if you haven't seen my Black Order of Thanos video breakdown, be sure to check that out, linked below if you're new and don't know anything about these new villains. So moving on, we have a look at Thanos fully armored up and presumably fresh out of a battle aboard the ship that Thor and Loki were on post-Ragnarok. Now there's fire in the background, and this does look to be the same scene in which the Black Order was surrounding Loki while Thanos crushes Thor's head. And I'm also guessing in order to spare Thor's life, Loki surrendered his allegiance and or the Tesseract to Thanos, and maybe Thanos uses that Space Stone right then and there to open up a portal and throw Thor halfway across the universe, where he might have been picked up by the Guardians of the Galaxy. Something else to note here is that we can see Thanos adding the Space Stone into his gauntlet, but he already looks to have the Power Stone in place. Now if you remember at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, the Power Stone was entrusted to the Nova Corps, so it's probably safe to say that Thanos already paid them a visit to get that stone. Now the Russo brothers have also said that Thanos is a man on a mission, and he's making a very aggressive move for the stones, a more effective move for the stones than he's ever made in the past. And when he decides to do it, he really goes for it. He's one step ahead of our heroes through the movie, and he puts them through a lot of pain in the process. Now, the same directors also said they've been heavily inspired by a couple of 90s crime ensemble films, such as 2 Days in the Valley and Out of Sight. Now, I haven't seen either one of those, so maybe someone can draw the comparison in the comments down below. But moving on, we get a look at the new Iron Man suit with its many upgrades. Now, whether you think it's his bleeding edge armor or Model Prime armor or invincible Iron Man armor, it's clear to say that this suit has the ability to create any tool or weapon that Iron Man might need at any given moment. In this case, he needs to go faster, so the suit creates a more powerful means to travel. In artwork released by Entertainment Weekly, we can also see the suit acting to create wings and other weapons suited to meet whatever threat is before him. Alrighty, so next up we can hear Tony saying they have what Thanos needs, so they have the advantage. And we can see Doctor Strange with the Time Stone and Vision with his Mind Stone still intact. Now in previous trailers we've seen the Mind Stone being poked at by one of the members of the Black Order, but who knows if they were actually successful in getting it out of his head. Now I believe that attempt to get the Mind Stone out might have been thwarted by Captain America, and that's why we see Cap, Banner, War Machine, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, Widow, and Vision all arriving to Wakanda, because they know someone is out to get that Mind Stone, and Wakanda is the most secure and off-grid place to take such a powerful object. We also get a shot of Shuri pretty much analyzing the head of Vision. Now you can see all the yellow energy emanating from that Mind Stone and flowing throughout Vision's body, or at least head. So maybe Shuri's working on a way to separate Vision from the Mind Stone, or figuring out a way to cloak the energy so that Thanos and the Black Order can't find it. In the Infinity War Prelude comic, Shuri did mention that she has AI tech far more advanced than even Ultron. And by watching Black Panther, I don't doubt it at all. And if anyone can figure out what to do with Vision, I'm sure it's her. Next up, we get some great dynamics between two very witty individuals on Thanos' ruined homeworld of Titan. Stark and Quill are already bickering and getting into the typical male ego argument, so I can't wait to see how they throw Doctor Strange into that mix. Now Spider-Man is just looking at Stark like finally someone's getting the verbal upper hand on this jerk. We also get to see a shot of the Hulkbuster 2.0, aka the suit that Dr. Banner may or may not be in. Now a toy released not too long ago suggests that the Hulk will actually be breaking free from the suit, and seeing as as Dr. Banner is definitely in Wakanda and has been seen working on the Hulkbuster armor, I think it's safe to say that may be true. Now, there definitely is a shot in this trailer where the Outriders have pretty much got the upper hand on that Hulkbuster tech and are beginning to rip it apart. They might not like what they find inside, though. So moving along, we get a shot of Thor, Rocket, and adolescent Groot at the location that Thor will be getting his new Stormbreaker weapon at. And for those of you who don't know and haven't seen my Thor Stormbreaker breakdown video, I had issues with who would actually be making that weapon, but it appears that Peter Dinklage, who has a confirmed role in the movie, might be playing the dwarf blacksmith responsible for handcrafting this mythical weapon, just like in the comic. Okay, so next up we get a flashback of Thanos probably and most likely conquering Gamora's home planet and taking her with him, along with an army of Chitauri warriors. Now, we've been getting hints at Gamora and Nebula's past relationship as daughters of Thanos, but now we might actually get to see what was done to them throughout their childhoods and the horrors that Thanos might have brought to them. We also see Ebony Maw getting the better of Doctor Strange while telling him to shh. Now, this was one character that has been teased to have a little bit more development than the other members of the Black Order, and many fans have speculated that he'll actually be one to turn against Thanos at some point in the film, or that he just has a whole separate agenda that doesn't pertain to Thanos' at all. Now, again, Ebony Maw has gotten the better of Doctor Strange in past comics, but unlike Strange, his powers don't lie in the omnipotent sorcery, but rather his manipulation of the mind and genius-level intellect. He's one character I very much can't wait to see come to life. Moving along, we hear Thanos say to Tony or one of the other Avengers, "I hope they remember you," while his armor is half ripped to pieces, and lunge at him with a punch that I sure hope doesn't connect or it's goodbye for Iron Man. And right after that, they cut to a scene of Cap struggling against him. Now, I really like how they did that because you can pretty much guess one of the major members of the Avengers will take a very long leave of absence, if you know what I mean. And fans have been speculating that it's either going to be Cap or Iron Man, or both, since they're pretty much the leaders of the team and leaders of their own respective teams in Civil War. So it's kind of like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. But I definitely like how the writers and directors are staying comic accurate so far and paying homage to so many different sources. Even in this shot of Cap versus Thanos, this is one of the most iconic shots of Captain America standing up to Thanos, and Thanos saying noble sentiments from one who is about to die. Like, it's just amazing to see coming to fruition after like 10 years in the making. And last but not least, another nod to previous movies when Spider-Man meets Doctor Strange and says, "Oh, I guess we're using our made-up names." An obvious nod to Caecilius meeting Strange with the whole Mr. Doctor thing and saying, "Strange, maybe who am I to judge?" Probably further irritating Doctor Strange. I mean, he didn't go through many, many years of med school just to be Stephen Strange, did he? Finally, we get to see Spider-Man webbing through all the wreckage on Titan as that moon that Thanos threw is now entering the atmosphere. And if there's one thing that the Russo brothers are phenomenal at doing so far in the MCU, it's putting together battles on a giant scale. So I can't wait to see how they'll top that in Infinity War. Alrighty, so that's going to go ahead and wrap up this trailer breakdown. I hope you guys are coming out of this video with a lot more than you came in with, but now I want to hear from you guys. Are you loving this new trailer as much as I am? And is there anything in this trailer that I missed that you could find? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below, as well as leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Also, make sure you're part of the notification squad to get the latest in all things superhero as soon as it hits the fan. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.